We'll save this for other people. And screen share. You probably don't need to see all of my things here. Okay. Now I got it. All right, so if you haven't been in ZipForms before, you're going to have to set up a login. ZipForms is actually free through GPAR, so you don't have to pay for it, but you need your NARDS ID, which I believe you can get from going to NARDS and then trying to log in. I didn't know mine, so I had to like reset my password and all that fun stuff. But once you have it, just store it somewhere that you won't lose it, because you'll need it for each of your agents if you're going to set multiple people up, because they'll need their own ZipForms. I do have other agents under me in ZipForms. And we have templates saved with all their information. So if you're an admin, you actually can just set up one ZipForm and have templates set up for each of your agents and then just pick which one it is. But anyway, so that's how you're going to have to set it up on that back end. But the easiest way to show you how to get to ZipForms and have everything pull in is sorry, hang on, my dog's scratching at the door. Okay. We go into a listing. This one just happens to be mine. And there's this little round button here. It's for ZipForms. It's a ZipForm integration. So you click that, and because I use ZipForms, I'm logged in. I'm likely logged in already. Yeah. So it'll immediately pull you into this, a transaction. See, this is highlighted. These are the tabs across the top. So it immediately pulled me into a transaction. And it immediately pulls all of this information in. I didn't have this set up before. It literally pulled from Bright. So it pulls the MLS number, the street address, subdivision, school district, anything that was in the listing comes in with this. Similar to DocuSign, you can fill out all of this information here, and it should, once you have your template set up, populate into the offer docs as well. It also, if you can see, it pulls in any information that was in Bright. So it pulls in the sellers, as long as, you know, it's not client of. I hate when agents do that. So if it's not client of, it'll pull seller information in. It'll pull listing agent and brokerage information in, so you don't have to update any of that. The first thing I do when I get this is add people, I apply a template. So we set up templates ahead of time. You can see I have buyer, this is mine, and then I have Jen, who's another agent on my team. When you select this and hit apply, and I'll show you how to set those up too, it applies the template to the transaction. And then you can add more parties. So this is where you would come in and add your buy side people. So anyone who's part of the transaction, you would add them here, buyer one. I wish I was writing an offer on my own listing, but I'm not. And you can put as much information as you want in here. If you put the address, it will pull in onto the contract. So I like complete offers. So like putting address and stuff is something I like doing, but not everyone does. So you hit save here. You add as many people to the transaction as you need. So you can add buyers, multiple. If you're in Jersey and you have attorneys, you can add them in. You can add in buyer agent. Obviously it's pulling me because it's my ZipForms, and it will pull you because it's your ZipForm. So you'll get added in here too. If you need to update any of the sell side stuff, you can do that here. So if it was client of, you can, and you need to change it, you can edit or delete this and then add someone new. So you can actually have the right people in there. Again, you can add multiple sellers, listing agent, but that should pull in already. If you want, you can add service providers. I don't, because it doesn't pertain to any of my offer docs, and I don't live in ZipForms, so I don't add that stuff here. I just use ZipForms as a way to expedite the offer writing. From there, you go into documents, and there's not much you'll need to do, because if you look here, it pulled all of it in. So no more Do we have to go back and forth? This page alone is a lifesaver. You know, if I had filled out in the beginning all of this information, it would have pulled in too. So, right, and you can fill the rest of it out as needed. This you always need to fill out. I haven't really figured out a way to set it up on the first page to get it there, but this changes all the time, so you can't really template it out. And you don't need to drop any signature things here either. So this is literally just to put the information into the contract. And then you hit save. If you look, so for us, the things that I put in our template are standard agreement, buyer tenant agency contract. I have it in there. Most people I get signed ahead of time, but sometimes, you know, you're on the fly. So that comes in, but this also automatically fills out our information too. So short of end, this is what templates are for. We put all of our normal standard stuff in there. So once it's templated out, it just comes onto every deal. And if you're not setting your stuff up like this, like 3% and or a minimum of 4,500, you should. And let's see. Buyer's financial information, nothing here because our information doesn't go on it. If you're using the COVID addendum, we have it pre-filled out. Sometimes I use it, sometimes I don't. Same with consumer notice, everything's already filled out. You know, client's name, my name, license. So all we'll need is the signature stuff. We also do deposit money notice. That pulls all the information in too, right from Bright. So, I mean, these are like, you know, 5 documents we haven't had to do anything for, which is amazing. Co-op broker letter, same thing, pulls everything in. You would only have to drop in, you know, what you're taking for that deal. And, you know, I pulled a top in recently because I've had a few of those. So I just dropped it in so it automatically pulls. You can set up different packets too. So you can set up, you know, a straight buyer, one that doesn't have any of these fluff. And then you can set up ones for, you know, ones with 10 occupied properties or whatever, or you can pull these documents in later. It doesn't matter. But these are ones that we've been using a lot recently. So I just added them. So once we have this all filled out, which really took me less than 5 minutes for all of that whole thing because I have my template set up, we go back to the transactions. So this is everything that I've done. These are all transactions that I've done. We grab the one that I just did right here, check it, hit the drop down, and then we want to send to other systems. And then you send to DocuSign transaction room. I had to set up my DocuSign to connect. I'll show you where to do that too. You will have had to create a room in DocuSign already to send this to. So you would go into DocuSign as usual, create a room, however you title it, property address, client, whatever. And then you would select your room and then hit send to. I want to show you guys. I'm trying to see if I have a dead one in here. Yeah, we'll send it to COVID forms. I don't know what that is, but I'll find it. So I'll show you what that does on the other end. Oops. Move over thing. While that's loading, I'm going to let my dog back in. Or not. Okay. She always does that. She comes and jumps at the back door, and as soon as I go back to get her, she runs away. I think what did I drop it into? COVID docs? I don't remember. So in DocuSign, you would still add in here at bare minimum, you need to add your information because you're going to need to sign, and you'll want to add your buyer's information as buyer 1 and buyer 2, because when you go to create an envelope, you need to have them set up so that it will populate the signing fields. But you go into documents as usual, select, why didn't they come in here? Is this the one I sent it to? Does anyone remember? No one? Oh, because I never selected forms. That would be why. So you have to select what you want to go over there. So buyer tenant agency contract, BFI, whatever. We can select all of them. That's why I didn't select the documents. Derp. All right, 7 forms to room. Da, 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 ta-da. All the forms are in our room now. When you go to create your, your envelope as usual, you select everything you want. I'm just going to select a few because it doesn't really matter. This really annoys me. I had Pinterest thing set up and it just pops up everywhere now. So you do the same thing you would normally do in DocuSign. When you go into your envelope, you would add your pre-tagged roles, buyer 1. I don't think we have anyone set up, so I'll set myself up as buyer 1, selling agent. I'll set myself up again because it doesn't matter. So this should, when we go into here, should drop the signing fields right where they need to go on all your docs. So you'll have everything ready. So start to finish, that whole thing took me 8 minutes and I fumbled a little. See, drops all the signature fields and you just send. So yeah, I lost you guys. I don't know where your faces went. Dana, with the helpful tip, you can call NAR if you need your ID for accessing zip forms. I'm going to stop sharing for a second so I can see your faces again. I'll share back in a minute so I can show you how to set the templates up. But any questions on what I just showed you guys? No,
so
pretty
I think
simple.
I might have missed when I saw how you used and applied your templates, but how you selected the documents to go to DocuSign.
Oh, yeah, let me show you again. So we were in this room.
So you need to create the DocuSign room first?
Yeah, so the DocuSign room has to be set up first. So you would open a separate tab, set DocuSign, like create a new room, name and all that stuff, because you need a place to direct it to go. I just grabbed a random room in there. But once we had everything, we knew it looked good. We checked all of our documents. Everything made sense. We go back to the list, and then it shows you all the transactions that you've been doing. You select the one you're working on, hit the drop down, and you select send to other systems. And then you hit send DocuSign transaction room. From there, you select what documents you want. See, I already sent all these ones, so they're already highlighted, but you select what you want. And then
you can't see your screen.
Oh,
you're not sharing.
Sorry. I'm like talking like, and you guys are like, yeah. One more time. Okay. Can you see now?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So we were in zip forms. We had just reviewed all of our documents. Everything made sense. We hit back to list, and this is a list of all the transactions that I have in zip forms. You select the one that you want. you hit the drop down here, and then you hit send to other system, and then send to DocuSign transaction room. What I was saying is these ones that are all grayed out, these are already in the room, but if we needed to add something else, we can check it and then
I don't
hit.
think we see something that you see. I just see all the transactions. I don't see a list.
Okay, I must be, hang on. I must be sharing only one screen. That's probably why. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna have no more documents to send. I'll just share my whole desktop. Okay, so you can see the transactions, right?
Mhm.
Can you see this little pop-up box?
Yep.
Okay, so you select the transaction, you hit this drop down here, a pop-up box comes up, and then you hit this, send to other system, and then you hit send to DocuSign transaction room.
Gotcha.
Can you see this now?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So these that are all grayed out are ones that I've sent. This is my last one to send, so I hope everyone can see it. And then you hit send to room. I think there's a little thing over here, but add documents to room. I had already selected my room, so it's sent to the one I had already used. So that's how you send them. To create templates, you go to this, sorry, she's scratching it again. Hi. Oh, you're such a pain in the ass. Puppies, guys, they're really awesome until they're not. Okay, so to create templates, so in mine, we can go in and look. You can pull in any doc you want. So let's see. So for me, we added standard agreement of sale. If you go into this, this is where you can start to add things, right? So I already pre-filled my broker information and my information because that's never going to change anytime I write an offer. So I filled that out. These change sometimes, but my team pre-filled that out. So we also we do pretty standard with most of our deals where if we're doing inspections, we usually make it due, our second deposit due within 18 days of execution date. And we also include a weekend clause. And we shorten, the timeline over here. So we drop that number in because we do it all the time. And we add any additional terms we like to add on our offers. So we add them all ahead of time. So they're pre-filled out. You can edit them when you go to pull all the information in. So you can change it at any time. It's not like permanent or anything.
You need to edit before you send it back to DocuSign though, right?
Right. So,
Okay.
yeah, so this will automatically pull in on my templates when we start a new transaction. When I go in, if I know like I'm changing some of these terms, like, I don't know, we're doing one deposit, I can delete that number 18, but you make all those edits before you send to DocuSign. You should be able to make further edits in DocuSign because it doesn't pull in as a PDF. So some things are editable over on DocuSign, but not everything. So I would say make your edits here in zip forms. You set up this template and then you save it and you go back and then you can do the same thing over here. So if you do standard stuff for your buyer tenant agency contract, you can pre-fill all of that out. So all of my information's up here, anything we do typically here. Obviously this can be edited if you need to negotiate or you guys do something different. So that's what we do. We pull any document that we want. And this is where you add the document. I probably should have started there. So if your team has a specific document that only is, proprietary to you, you can pull from anywhere. You don't have to just pull from, so this would pull from my desktop. I think what we wound up doing, add form that's where you get all your PAR forms. It doesn't have the KW forms. So if there's anything specific like, affiliated business disclosure or something like that, you could pull it down and then drop it into here as a template, fill it out with your information and then send it. We leave it in DocuSign because it's already formatted in DocuSign to be filled out. If we brought it into zip forms, we would have to drop all of the boxes in to be able to add information to it because it would come in as a PDF, if that makes sense. So we leave that one over in DocuSign, but you could certainly add it here. And once you have your template set up, you might not need all of these docs, like an appraisal contingency addendum, but when you're in your room specific for that transaction, you could pull those docs in over there too. So you don't have to have everything set up, but you certainly could. You could set up all the bells and whistles and then only use docs that you want, or you could set up your core documents and pull more in later for each transaction. The other thing I was going to show you is you can set up multiple. So I know this might be important for admins with teams. So this is set up with my stuff, but I have a showing agent that occasionally does a few deals, has no reason to have like a full setup of everything because they just do it so infrequently. So we set up her template in here. And again, we just fill out the information that we need. Because she's on the team, it gets both of our information, that kind of stuff. And you can set up as many of these as you want. So you could do it for multiple buyer's agents. You could do listing ones. Again, I prefer personally to do the listings over in DocuSign because now DocuSign has templates too. I don't know if you know that. So you can pre-do your templates over there. It just makes more sense to me over there because there's no information to pull in here. Like there's no way to pull information from Bright into this for the listing, at least that I found. So yeah. Any questions? I know I was going fast, so.
I have a question about admins setting up things for the other agents. Will they then, can they then link to different DocuSigns, or it's only the one DocuSign? Like
it goes to one. So
got it. Okay.
For me, because this person on my team is mostly a showing agent, they have very few deals. And the way it's structured, everything runs through me anyway. But if all of your team has their own DocuSign, then you would want to set them up in their own zip forms with the template. Yeah. Honestly, once I've forced everyone to use this, it has become, they realize how easy it is, and it takes like 2 minutes to write an offer versus 20 minutes, that they're all using it now. But it was pulling teeth to get people to start to use it. But once they started it, it's made it so much speedier that they all use it now. Trying to think, what else can I show you? Oh, you'll need to, I have to remember how to do this because I haven't done it in a while. Shop help partners. You'll need to connect your DocuSign to it. And I have to remember how to do that. Nope. This. Nope. Oh yeah, you'll get a bunch of ads for e-commissions. Zip consult me. Go away. Profile and settings. It might be in here. Sorry, I probably should have refreshed my memory before I hopped in here to show you guys this.
Scott Leroy can always help you. He's been helping me like connect everything to my command. So they're great.
Cool. Yeah, sorry. I might have to follow up with you guys because I don't remember and I don't want to keep you hanging on for me to figure this out. It might be a thing that happens when you first go to send something. I can't remember. I'll figure it out and send you guys a follow-up. Sorry for not having that remembering that right now. What else can I answer for you? Anything?
Can you show how you set up the DocuSign room?
DocuSign room, yes.
And then the templates in DocuSign
Sure.
that you mentioned?
What are you using now?
I do it old school. I do it in zip forms, PDF it, and then put it in DocuSign.
Okay.
But I use the MLS Connect.
Okay. Does it, oh, the MLS Connect from zip forms. So
Yeah.
it still pulls stuff in, but you just don't have their template set up, right?
I have templates and zip forms.
Oh, okay. Well, so that's what I just did, right? So you're
Yeah.
doing the same thing, just not completing it over to DocuSign. So when you log into DocuSign, this is what it looks like. If you hit your little icon here, I switched to rooms. I just like how it looks better. So rooms. This is what it looks like. This is my dashboard in rooms. It shows, you know, all kinds of things going on. When you come over to, you have to switch to rooms to get to that other look, and then you're able to click on the rooms tab. I don't know why it's that way, but it is. I think it's like a new, like I think they're rolling out like a beta testing, a different layout or something. But when you're in rooms, you click new and you name your room, whatever you want. You pick your role, so agent, owner for me, and you select a side. So if it's, you know, buy side, list and buy side, whatever. So, and then you just click save. You can add a photo, but you don't need to. Obviously, I'll put test. We'll go buy side, save. So they'll create a room and take you right there. When you're in a room, this is the details page. It's really strange to me how it's laid out, but whatever. You hit edit up here, and then all of the people that are in the deal are down this side. So sellers, listing agent, all of that stuff. If you have buyers, if it's a buyer side transaction, you really only need to fill out your buyer's information and make sure your information's on there. Since we're not writing the offer in here, you don't really need much more. And then in documents, you can add documents to your room. Oh, not that one. Add up here. So from up here, you can pull from zip forms if you have documents set up in there, or you can go to DocuSign forms. And this is everything that KW set up. And you also have access to PAR docs in here. So if you do DocuSign forms library, then you can select KW. They have New York in here, and they have PAR. I think when you have your NJ license, that'll pop up in here too. I tend to like to go to PAR. The KW docs, they did auto-populate a lot, so it is helpful on most, but usually I'm pulling in like one-off stuff. So this is where you would get your affiliated business disclosure, all of that stuff. If you're doing everything from here, especially for a listing, it's actually better to use the KW stuff because it puts the spaces where your clients need to fill stuff out. So like a seller's property disclosure, dropping all those boxes on one of those is such a time suck. KW has, I think it was Joe actually set these up so that they have all of the little spaces that could potentially be filled out. And so that you don't have to redo it, which is nice. Once this room's set up, that's when you would go back to zip forms and then push it over like I had said or showed earlier. I have, let's see, my docs. My docs is where you set up your templates, form templates. So you can add all of your stuff in here, BAC, BM. So this already has pre-filled my information in it. So we were playing with templates over here first. So it's pretty much the same thing as zip forms. Again, I just tend to like DocuSign for listings for whatever reason and zip forms for offers. So, but you can set all of the same documents up that you had before if you prefer, or again, listing side, and then you can pull these into your room pre-filled. So
Britt, I have a question in regards to when you set up this room in DocuSign directly, it's not connected to your commands, so you're just downloading and then uploading your documents for the Market Center?
yes.
So could you not start in command at that contact create
Create the
the
room.
opportunity, go to the room, and then it's all linked?
Yep. Yeah, you could
Okay.
definitely do that for sure. We just haven't really fully immersed into that workflow because we were having some trouble in the beginning. But yes, 100% could do that. And probably makes more sense to do it that way. So, yeah. What else? Any other questions? No? Okay. Well, you guys should play with it. If you get stuck, shoot me a message and I can happily hop on and try to help unstuck you. But as Dana had mentioned, Scott Leroy is super helpful with a lot of this stuff. Though similar to DocuSign, if you had a profile in Zip Forms previously with either another brokerage or another email or something like that, it can be a pain in the ass to get like into the right one. But once you're in, you should be good to go. That's it. That's all I got.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyway, it saves a lot of time. So I hope you guys try it and let me know how it works.
I just put in the email too. It's just support@scottleroymarketing.com. You can email them anytime and they'll get back pretty quickly.
Awesome. Thank you. Cool. Well, if you guys, like I said, get stuck or have questions, if you're trying to play around with this, let me know. Heidi on my team is the one that set up our template. So she might be more of an expert than me with, at least for the templating piece. But I've used Zip Forms for a long time. So if you have questions, happy to help.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. Bye, guys.
Thanks.